The story of Iranian daughters is a powerful narrative of resilience, resistance, and an unbreakable connection to a past that their mothers were ultimately forced to surrender. It is a story woven through decades of upheaval, sacrifice, and unwavering hope. In 1979, Iran underwent a revolution that dramatically transformed the fabric of its society. Overnight, the country shifted from a modernizing monarchy that had begun to push boundaries for women's rights to a strict theocratic regime that imposed rigid laws and oppressive controls. Women who once had the freedom to pursue careers, education, and personal expression suddenly found themselves confined within the boundaries of strict dress codes, limited mobility, and curtailed freedoms. Their mothers, doctors, teachers, students, artists, had been inching closer to equality, dreaming of a future where women's voices could be heard and their choices respected. But that dream was violently torn away by the revolution, faced with a climate of fear, repression, and enforced silence. In the aftermath, the women of that generation faced impossible choices. Some fell silent, choosing to adapt to the new order in order to survive. Others fled the country altogether, seeking refuge in distant lands where they could live freely. And many tried to navigate the hostile environment by finding subtle ways to resist, to preserve their dignity and their sense of self. But their daughters, born into a world that was often hostile to their aspirations, refused to forget what was lost. They grew up hearing stories of a different Iran, a land where women wore what they wanted, walked into universities without fear, and debated politics openly in cafes and classrooms. These stories fueled a quiet but persistent hunger for freedom, a yearning to reclaim the rights and identities that the previous generation had been forced to abandon. This new generation of Iranian women, bold, educated, and defiant, has taken up the mantle of their foremothers, fighting to restore what was stolen from their families and their country. They've grown up with the weight of history on their shoulders, but also with an unshakable determination. They understand the importance of their voice in shaping Iran's future. They are actively challenging the oppressive regime, taking to the streets, organizing social media campaigns, and risking everything to be seen and heard. Their resistance is visible and relentless. From removing their hijabs in public to chanting slogans for equality, from filming brutal crackdowns to sharing those images worldwide, these women are refusing to be silenced. Their protests are not merely about headscarves or dress codes. They are about asserting control over their own bodies, their minds, their lives. They are saying, no more, to a regime that seeks to dictate every aspect of their existence. Many of these daughters are university students, artists, athletes, journalists, young women who represent a vibrant, connected Iran that refuses to be erased. They are aware of the enormous risks they face: jail, torture, even death. Yet their courage is contagious, inspiring others to stand alongside them. When one woman dares to walk unveiled in a Tehran street, she ignites a spark in others. When a protester is detained, dozens more step forward to fill the void. This movement is decentralized, without a single leader, but unified by a shared spirit of defiance and hope. It's a collective effort to reclaim their rights, their dignity, and their country's future. Some of these daughters are supported by mothers who remember the revolution vividly. These women whisper warnings, cautioning their daughters against drawing too much attention, fearing the brutal reprisals of a regime that has historically crushed dissent. They carry the scars of their own sacrifices, and their fears are rooted in the pain of having dreams stolen and voices silenced. Yet, many other mothers, many who have suffered under this regime, fully support their daughters' fight. They understand the deep pain of silenced voices, having endured it themselves. They want their daughters to live in a world where speaking the truth does not mean imprisonment or persecution. They recognize that their daughter's courage is a continuation of the struggle their generation started but was unable to complete. It is crucial to understand that the fight for women's rights in Iran is not a recent phenomenon. It isn't just about social media hashtags or fleeting protests. It is a movement rooted in decades of struggle. When laws changed and women began to disappear from public life, the seeds of resistance were already planted. Over the years, women have fought in countless ways, sometimes quietly, sometimes openly, to reclaim their space and their dignity. Now, these daughters are reviving that spirit with renewed energy and determination. They are bringing back the voice that was muted, rewriting a future that their mothers were never allowed to imagine. Their resistance is a testament to the unbreakable human spirit and the enduring desire for freedom. This struggle isn't happening in isolation. Iranian daughters have found allies across the globe. Women from Afghanistan, Egypt, France, Canada, and beyond, standing in solidarity. Their message is clear. Human rights are universal, transcending cultural and national boundaries. When one woman rises in Iran, she inspires others everywhere to stand up for their own rights. The interconnectedness of this movement amplifies its power, making it impossible for oppressive regimes to contain or suppress the collective voice of these women. Their fight is not just about Iran. It echoes a universal demand for dignity, equality, and the right to live free. The Iranian regime continues to respond with brutality, fearing the unstoppable force of these young women who know their worth and refuse to be silenced. They face arrests, beatings, and repression, yet each act of violence only fuels the movement's growth. For every baton swung and every jail cell filled, the collective spirit of resistance becomes stronger. This isn't merely about changing laws. It's about reshaping identities, reclaiming dignity, and asserting the fundamental human right to live authentically. No regime, no matter how oppressive, can legislate away the innate worth and agency of women. The world must watch this movement, not as passive spectators, but as active allies. The daughters of Iran are leading a revolution that extends beyond politics. It is a revolution of the soul. They are fighting for joy, for freedom, for the right to shape their own lives and destinies. They carry with them not just their hopes, but the dreams of their mothers. Dreams of a future where women are valued, respected, and free. One day, those dreams will no longer be deferred. They will be lived out loud in full color by women who never stopped believing they were worthy of more. That day is approaching, and these daughters are lighting the path forward with unwavering courage and determination. In the end, their story is one of hope, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of collective resistance. It reminds us that even in the darkest times, the desire for freedom and dignity burns brightly. The daughters of Iran are not just fighting for their own rights, they are fighting for the future of women everywhere. Their journey is a beacon of hope, illuminating a world where justice, equality, and freedom are within reach for all. And as they continue their courageous struggle, the world must stand with them, supporting their right to write their own history and to live in a world where their dreams are no longer deferred but realized.